Welcome to Uncle Brent's Shed, yet another boring episode on the VC. Alright, I'll start attacking this rear pillar. Just cut a big chunk out of there. I'll take a slither down the back side of that. I think I said it before, I'm not, you know, if I've got people in this car, who knows what could happen. If it ends up on its side or its roof, you don't really want to, you don't want the roof to come off. So I'm pretty sure that patch there, inner and outer, and I am going to repair that one back to probably halfway here. Yeah, it's more safety than anything. All right, got him all hogged out. Just got to make up some patches now and stitch him in. Finally got that one all stitched in and ground up, inside and out. Didn't turn out too bad. Good enough for this rocket anyway. So now I'll tackle this one. It's triple skin down here, so that won't be too bad to work with. I'll cut it probably just up above those spot welds there that you can see. Cut it up there, and then yeah, try not to go too high, obviously. We'll just go just above that rotten bit there. Work our way back down to here. And I'm just about out of 1mm steel as well, so I'll have to go to the 1.6, which shouldn't be a problem. Rightioski. That's the shape I've come up with. Let's see how we go cutting that out. Obviously I want to take minimal out, so I've got a smaller hole, but it's not always easy, you know, cutting different shapes, but we'll see how we go. So I managed to get a bit of cardboard in there, got a bit of paint on the inside, get the top line of my shape there, if that makes sense. Obviously went that way. And then cut me a piece of steel to suit. That took about a good half hour to whittle up to how I wanted it. Now on the top edge, I've put a little bit of a chamfer or whatever you want to call on it, just to help with warpage, because like I've said a million times before, I'm not a panel beater or a welder. So I'll just tack this in slowly, bit by bit, probably blow the welds with compressed air so it doesn't warp and shrink all of this. And yeah, see how we go. I've obviously got that welded in and grounded up. I'll give it an undercoat and rub some seam sealer down in that gutter cavity there. She's a little bit rough, but it's good enough for this old pig. Okay, literally just spent the last 2 hours trying to get that door open. No success. I don't know what's going on, something dodgy with the catch. And I just hold that bit out. This is the last rust repair on this whole side of the car. And then we'll probably spin it around and tackle the other side. Well, I just probably spent the last 2.5 hours whittling up this little quarter section. It's got a few different bends to it, obviously, so it was pretty involved. Didn't want to bore you with the process, but that's ready to weld in now, so let's get it. Now that I have all the rust repairs fixed on this side that I was worried about, now I'm just going to go along and tidy up the different heights in my new section to the old. That needs fixing up there. This needs all fixing up along here. Then I'll clean that bare metal and give it an undercoat. Right, so last night I got all that undercoated, done a bit of seam seal work, all the little gaps here, just to keep the smuts out. Doesn't really matter on this car. Now, rust wise, I'm done on this side. So yeah, I need to start concentrating on this side. I pulled the aluminium strip off the bottom there, off the floor that holds the carpet down, and the seal. Yeah, more rust. What else? Still got to get that bloody door off. And so what I'm going to do today, just to break it up a little bit, I'm going to clean the engine bay. You can see there last night when I got a bit bored, I used good old oven cleaner. And generally the cheaper the oven cleaner, the more toxic it is. You got to be careful because it takes your breath away. You need a bit of ventilation. So I think we'll give the engine bay a clean up, because I need a little bit of excitement in my life. So instead of being on my bloody hands and knees down there, so I think we'll do that. Yeah, ended up scraping all off the inside, the remainder of the hood lining as well, and cleaned up a little bit around the edge where the rubber goes. I think there was a little ding here somewhere. I just put a shifter on that and flexed it back out. Obviously something's fallen on it at some point, but still a little bit of a flat spot there, but that will be fine. All right, let's do some of this. Something else I forgot to mention too, when I plucked this mudguard off, sitting down here was a bottle of Permaseal, or Permatex, you know, the old gasket maker. And I don't know how old that bottle is, but it's still, it's got a little bit in the bottom. It's a bit thick, but it's still usable. Makes you wonder what they were doing back in the day. Probably putting a water pump on it, you know, probably 40 years ago. And they've probably sat that up there, and she's gone down the, you know, down the gap. But yeah, I thought that was quite funny. I should do the right thing and actually use that. I'll use this when I need to on this car. That's the plan. Oh. I'll just let that soak for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. And then we'll give her a little scrub with a, I don't know, nail brush that's half eaten away, so probably won't work at all. Right, so I just grabbed a bowl of water, put that little brush in, just because yeah, this is pretty toxic. Well, there she is, half clean, half dirty. When it was wet, it looked pretty cool. It gave me some idea of what it's going to look like when it's cleared. Someone at some point has sprayed a different colour purple inside of here. Looks pretty cool when it's wet, so I'm going to leave it all ready. Obviously, just clear it, get me sun to clear it. You know, so it tells a story. Leave all the rust there. Something weird going on there with a bit of red paint. But yeah, one step at a time. I'll probably finish this up today. Don't know if I'll bother filming it. Literally that took 20 minutes to do, so not a real big issue. I've still got a clean out in this plenum. It's full of dirt and crap. Take that plug out over there and pluck it out both sides. There's a little vent down here. Bit hard to see. But yeah, I reckon we'll probably wind this video up here, I think. It's a little bit boring, but is what it is. Rightio, step by step, we're slowly getting somewhere. She's gonna be a bit of a drawn out project, I think, this one, but is what it is. Between work and home and sleeping on the lounge, it's you know, doesn't leave you many hours during the week to have a crack. So anyway, we'll leave it at that. Pretty happy with how it's turning out. Yeah, we'll probably tackle that other seal panel in the next few episodes. In between that, I've got a few more plans for different videos, but yeah, we need to pluck that 1UZ out as well and figure out how we're going to mount it in there. Seeing I'm back on Facebook now, since I've been banned since Easter. Something, I don't know what I did wrong. Anyway, there was some cars, early Valiants on Facebook at one point, I remember, had 1UZs in them. So I might see if I can find those cars again and ask them a few questions, whether they use the Valiant cross member. Probably had to go rack and pinion, which is probably going to happen to this anyway, with power steering. Just, you know, it's a bit easier for the old fella to steer. All right, that's enough talking. I think we'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in and look after your mates. Right, one last thing. I don't normally push the subject, but we're almost at 3,000 subs. If we could click that over, it'd be awesome. We've had probably over 500,000 views on all my videos, but yeah, lacking in the subs. Cheers.